It's beautiful outside.
Yep.
I'm
It is.
I just don't want it to get cold like tomorrow because I will cry.
It probably will.
It's supposed to rain tomorrow.
Makes
It's supposed to rain.
See, if it's a positive impact show, and you're gonna bring the bearer back.
But you have to, like, at the end of the day, you have to give it all, and then you bring it back. Like, today is amazing, so make sure that today you fulfill everything that you need to today. I'm just saying.
The only thing I want to think about today is how it's supposed to be nice tomorrow. See, now I can't even do that.
Because it's not supposed to be
tomorrow.
nice. Yeah, it's
I
supposed
don't.
to rain.
I would like to know that the hard way.
All right. I know what he's saying. So what I want
Don't
you to
get
do.
on Darius.
No, listen. No. I know what he's saying. So what I want you to do is to start again. We're gonna
I'm
start
not.
again. No, this is what I want you to do for me, please. I just want you to say it's going to be raining tomorrow. Okay? Go ahead.
It's supposed to rain tomorrow.
Praise the Lord! The plants are going to get some nourishment. We're going to get some water. It's not going to be Flint, Michigan.
It's gonna clean my car.
Hallelujah! It's going to clean the cars. Get the leaves off the cars. I ain't pay my water bill and I need a shower. And I prayed and God answered my prayers.
Yo, I'm done with this. But that was much better. That was nice. So it seems like you feel better too.
I still have a cold.
But you sound better than you did. I think it was the suit yesterday.
No. You know what happened was I heard it clap and now the show's on. When that boop goes on, it's time to go to work.
Oh, okay, that's what it is.
That's
It
what it
wasn't
is.
the
He
suit.
gets in his mode.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna be dead after this.
Look,
I'm
he's
going
like,
home talking about, I can't move. Ow. I've been doing that all day before I came here too. Like, ow. Can you get me
That's
something
what
to
you
drink?
did yesterday too.
Yeah. But see, when we got to the party too, I was all right.
He was posing.
I was all right.
He was
I did my
taking
thing.
pictures.
I imagine
he was taking pictures to make sure people
Hannah
knew he was
was going in,
outside after.
Hannah was going in.
If they would have danced, I would have been dancing too. What we're talking about is we had went to a party, Pondy Ends. Shout outs to Pondy Ends. And you know what I don't like about him?
Oh God.
Oh wow, I'm getting negative now. But anyways, I hope you're listening. But what I don't like is how he called my wife Empress. Hello, Empress.
I knew that was coming.
I've never called my wife Empress
He
in my
was trying
life.
to figure out a word yesterday to call our guest today that was more than Empress. And he couldn't
He just
find
said,
it.
he said, hello, Empress. I almost said like, hey. Almost. I had to catch myself. So I have to think of something to go better than Empress.
Did you find something?
Hello, my. I don't know. I can't think of nothing. Hello, my
I'm
gazelle.
telling you, it's just the accent.
Hello,
it's
my
the accent.
gazelle.
It's the Jamaican accent that just threw you off.
Hello, my panda bear. I don't know. See, I'm trying. I don't know.
Okay, panda bear. Panda?
They cute, I guess.
They're really not. But okay. So it's your girl Chantel, and that was Will Truth at McNeil. It's been a long couple of days, apparently.
Amen.
We got Mr. Darius Stone.
What's happening?
We got DJ E-Class filling in for Smooth Spinner.
DJ E-Class, how are you doing today?
And you have to introduce your guest because his name is special.
All right, I am glorious today, and I got my man here, Michael Jackson, representing real quick. Go ahead, let him know.
Yeah, we out here. MSJ in the building.
Did he say MSJ?
Let's clarify that real quick. His name literally is Michael Jackson.
Yes.
His mama
You know
is
I got little arms.
I'm gonna pass the mic back, have it high for me to reach up and get it, and I can't. But what does MSJ stand for?
Michael S. Jackson.
Oh, Michael S. Jackson.
yeah.
Okay, I thought he was talking. Look, I didn't know his middle name. He talking. He said MSJ in the building. I was like, oh, is that a gang? I didn't know what. Like, I didn't know if I had to throw up signs or colors. I didn't know what. I hoped it wasn't blue because I'm wearing red. I didn't know what to do.
You got to catch up on.
Yeah, I got to. You know, that's how we do Worcester.
And we have two lovely ladies in the building as well. We have Miss, I'm not going to say neither one of y'all last names because I know I can't pronounce one. So we have Marcy and Bridget in the building.
Hello.
Say hi. Hi, everyone. Now, I know she's not shy already. So we're going to talk about the program that you started here in Worcester. So I'm not even going to say it. I want you to introduce your company. Give us the reasons why you started it, how the three, because there's three of you,
Right.
and the other woman is not here. But I want you to talk about how you guys all connected, and then how did this your program come about?
Sure. So,
And that's Bridget.
this is Bridget Middleton. I'm the Assistant Director of the Counseling and Assessment Clinic of Worcester. So the Counseling and Assessment Clinic is a mental health clinic. We have 2 offices in Worcester as well as 2 in Fitchburg. One of our offices is a substance abuse program. The clinic was founded in 2007 by Dr. Jennifer Hilton, and through the substance abuse program, we've developed this new initiative that we're working on called substancefreeworcester.org. So it is a website. It just went live 2 weeks ago, and the purpose of the site is to aggregate all of the available news, information, and resources regarding substance use within the city of Worcester. It's supposed to be a resource for people suffering from substance addiction as well as their loved ones. So it's a nice resource, but it also works in conjunction with our substance abuse program, which I'm going to have Marcia to speak a little bit about what she does there.
So my name is Marcia Marsing. I'm the program director for Counseling and Assessment Clinic of Worcester, and I started with CAC in 2010. I started as an in-home therapy and behavioral therapy clinician, and I did a lot of CBHI services out in the Worcester County. I recently started in that role as a director in July of last year, and I oversee the running of the SOAP program. It's actually a structured outpatient program where we have our clients coming in from 9 to 12:30 every day, and we have many different treatment that we offer in terms of groups. In addition to that, we do quite a number of therapy groups. We do anger management, domestic violence, codependence, dual diagnosis. And in addition to that, we also do forensic evaluations for the court, and we operate the second offender aftercare program and the first offender aftercare program as well.
All right, so what made you, how did you guys come up to, or think to start something like this? Was there something that affected you personally that made you want to, reach out to people with mental illness or with people who've had criminal records or anything as such?
So this is a 2-part answer. One is, I know that when Dr. Hilton was starting the clinic, one of her big concerns was that people in Worcester were having a hard time receiving culturally competent care.
Okay.
So Dr. Hilton herself is an immigrant from Jamaica, and she realized a lot of people here, because people couldn't relate with them culturally, were having a difficult time providing correct diagnoses for people.
Yep.
So that sort of inspired her, along with her desire just to raise the bar for the quality of care that people in this community receive.
Okay.
So that's why she started CAC Worcester. And then Substance Free Worcester came out of operating the substance addiction program. In speaking to people who are in recovery, I mean, they told us time and time again, one was that taking that first step towards recovery was overwhelming. They didn't know where to go. So, like most people, you whip out your phone, you go on Google, and you're looking for treatment or services in Worcester. You might not know how those services interact, who to call first, what you're going to need to recover. So we want to take some of the guesswork out of struggling with addiction in Worcester. Where do you go? Who do you call? What do I do? How do all these different levels of care interact with each other? The next thing is that a lot of people said they sort of felt alone, because it's not like necessarily if you're struggling with addiction that the people who are struggling with you are at the same step in the journey as you are. They may not be ready to seek recovery.
Right.
So what we try to do on the site is we have a testimonial page that aggregates stories of people who are in different stages of recovery, as well as their loved ones and providers, to make people know that you're not alone in this community with these issues. And then the third thing was, we're really focused on making it very Worcester-centric. So you'll see on the site, there's people talking about, when I was starting my recovery process, I knew that I couldn't go out to the common, because I knew that if I went there, I was going to get into trouble.
Right.
Or I went through this particular program and it was amazing and I would recommend it. Or when our child was struggling, this is what helped us. So we just want people to know there's actual concrete brick and mortar help right here in our city. And so that's sort of where both ideas kind of came from. Did I miss anything?
And you guys, it seems that you guys focus more on substance abuse than mental health, or
No. So
The head nods.
it's right now because we're launching this substancefreeworcester.org. We really focus on the substance abuse aspect.
Okay.
But 3 of our 4 clinics are generally focused on mental health. So we offer, outpatient therapy, child behavioral health initiatives, CBHI services, and a variety of other mental health services along the spectrum, including, medication management, case management, you name it.
okay, so with the things that especially children of color go through in the city, it's very complex. Parents have to always be working, or sometimes they're even home all the time because they can't work. Poverty. There's a lot of things children of color have to deal with at such young ages. How do you diagnose them with something like depression or anything, with putting that to the side? Is it difficult to say, oh, it's because what's going on at home, as opposed to they really have a problem, cognitively, or they have a problem with dealing with things?
I'll answer that. I think a lot of it is based on culture first.
Yep.
I'm Jamaican too.
Mhm.
And I know we're loud. I know, I remember when I was studying, when I was doing my master's, one of my professors said he went to England and he noticed that quite a lot of Jamaicans were admitted into the mental institution there. And so he started doing a little bit of studying stuff. And he found that their first encounter with, being diagnosed as schizophrenic or bipolar, mentally ill, was because they were probably getting into a fight and they didn't strip themselves, take their clothes off, which is common for Jamaicans to do. You're gonna get into a fight, you kind of get ready for it. And so because a lack of understanding of our culture, a lot of our people were institutionalized. So back to Worcester, whether we're dealing with Hispanics, Jamaican, Caribbean, African, we try to make sure that we bear in mind their cultural background before we jump to any conclusions about, their diagnosis. We believe in ghosts. So if a child should say to me, I'm seeing ghosts, or I saw a ghost last night, I would not jump to immediately diagnose that person to be mentally ill and hallucinating, because I know that's part of the culture as well.
Okay.
That's good. So, with piggybacking off of what he said how do you collaborate with other agencies here in Worcester? And if you do, which ones? And then some of the agencies that are quick to diagnose, especially children of color. I use y'all thing. Black and brown and whatnot, quicker with having, the schizophrenia and all of that stuff, other than saying that they just need somebody to talk to. Like, do you see some of those issues in the other organizations here in Worcester?
I wouldn't.
No, I'm not going to get into what the other agencies do, but I have worked in quite a number of facilities myself,
Okay.
and I know that was always something that was stressed. That we have to be culturally sensitive to when we diagnose. So I think in general, once you do mental health studies, you're kind of taught to make sure that you rule out some cultural issues before you diagnose.
And I would also add to that, I think the biggest issue that we see, I'm not a clinician, I'm an attorney, but just in working in this field, is that trauma is such a big part of the root of a lot of things that we might say are either mental illness or periods of depression or things like that. A lot of it goes back to trauma, and we know that in a lot of minority households that there is a lot of trauma because of the things that you mentioned, because of poverty and other things like that. And so just seeing that sort of as a red flag before you even take that step to saying, maybe this person has a severe mental illness as opposed to this person is dealing with a trauma.
How hard is it to get into to get to those families that we know are suffering but are ashamed? Or those that say, we don't have a problem, but we know, but they know, there's something. Or how hard is it to get to those families?
It can be very difficult. Most of our referrals for the CBHI services, which is in-home therapy, comes from the school. So the
Okay.
child might be in school and might just be displaying some of the behaviors that are concerning for the adjustment counselors. And they, in turn, will send a referral to us for us to reach out to that family. Oftentimes, when we try to get a hold of the family, they might decline services, or some of them might say, okay, because they want to, kind of please the school, they will get to go in and do an intake, and they probably will not follow up with, appointments after that. But it's usually very difficult.
And to a degree, I kind of understand why. Sometimes people calling their families black people, they are so afraid that someone just wants to come up in their house and take their kids when they're doing the best they can, that it becomes difficult. But on the flip side, a lot of things that I'm noticing as well with children with trauma, that from being uprooted to take it out of their house, is that sometimes they just need more attention. And the parents are working so much, or the parent or the mother or father are not there, and they can't do it and then do everything else required of them to feed them and everything. So do you guys offer services such as not a big brother, but something like to where people go in home and help the children?
Right. So I'll answer your question in twofold. So one, we have quite a number of, when it comes to our clinicians, we have Spanish clinicians, we have Caribbean clinicians, we have persons from Africa. We are very diverse in terms of our staff. To address those needs culturally. Secondly, we do offer a wide array of services. We offer what we call therapeutic mentoring, which is, I think, what you were referring to, the Big Brother. It's just a little more clinical than that.
Right.
So yes, we would have somebody. And then in the in-home therapy, we have what we call TTMS, therapeutic mentoring and support, where we have a person who has been through, has experienced the same issues as that family, would be there to support the parents as well.
Okay.
The state actually has an initiative going on, State Without Stigma. I think it's a hashtag right now, and it's really focused on breaking the stigma associated with mental illness. And so just sort of anecdotally within our community, with communities of color, I know that a lot of times when someone may be suffering from a major mental illness, people are quick to say, oh, they're just on drugs. And that's something I've heard time and time again. Or if it's a child, it's just, oh, he's just bad. And so a lot of it has to be on that education piece to just sort of educate people that it may or may not be drugs. A lot of times drugs and mental illness go hand in hand.
Or they just want attention.
Or it could be that they want attention, or it could be something, deeper. And so just trying to educate people that to break away from that stigma is something that's really important for us. And we try to talk to a lot of the parents and the families that come in of any race, any background, about sort of getting past that initial hesitation and stigma around mental illness. I commend the state on that initiative.
Okay. So my question is, because I know that I used to work at an organization that did this kind of the same thing. But my issue was always, how do we get more of the referrals? If they're not coming from the schools, if you're not able to get them from like the hospitals and things like that, how do we, reach the community? So you have a strategy for that? Because I definitely believe you, education is key. People need to understand what it is that you're trying to do. You're not trying to label any of the children, but you're trying to assist and help the families grow. But how do we educate those that aren't going to school? Because you know what I mean? There's a lot of kids that aren't going to school. There's a lot of kids that are being homeschooled and things like that. There are a lot of people that are in different facilities for girls and boys and things like that aren't getting that education. How do we get those kids?
It's very difficult.
It is.
I think for the kids who are not in school, if they have truancy on their record, then they would probably be in the care of DYS or DCF, and ultimately we would get referrals to see them as well. If the parents have substance abuse issues and the children are not in school as a result, then DCF normally would get involved and we would get them. Other than that, it's very difficult to reach that population.
I think that's why it's really important for us to do things like this program, to reach people in non-conventional ways, because they're not necessarily going to get it from the school nurse. So trying to be present on social media, trying to be present, in traditional media like this, is something that we really have strove to do, especially over the last year or so.
Have you ever thought about like a health summit? something like that where you have your agency in different agencies to come out, but you guys would all have an allotted time to talk about what it is that you do, to engage the community that does not do social media, that does not have computers and things like that, but those that are in the city that still read newspapers. You understand what I'm saying? So have you ever thought about doing a health summit?
No, but I think you just suggested.
Look.
That's a wonderful idea.
I think it would be phenomenal.
The state actually is putting one on in Worcester coming up called Ounce of Prevention.
Okay.
And it's in, I want to say it's in June or something like that, but it's all over the internet and it's actually focused on how to get health services to people who need them, not just mental health, but just health services
And it's going to be here in Worcester?
Yeah, it's in Worcester. It's actually on the substancefreeworcester.org site right now, but I don't know the details. Sorry, Formation was about to start playing on my phone there.
Love.
But I could, if I can pull it up, maybe later.
Yeah, we'll find it. Okay. So I want to take a pause, and we'll come back. So we'll have DJ E-Class take us out.
My daddy, Alabama.
Sorry.
Take us out. Yo, you're bananas. You should at least did the hot sauce part.
Oh, yeah,
That's what you
right.
should have did.
I thought the random thing was my thing.
Yeah, you taking everybody's job. Shoot. The computer just died.
Oh yeah.